Hi there YouTube, it's Jilly. I wanted to make a video today, which isn't my usual video, but I thought maybe I'll try it and see what happens. So I was watching a YouTube last night about a content creator, and he was saying that he was trying to make all these different YouTubes and everything, and one day he just sat down and just did whatever he felt like doing. So I thought today I'm going to try that. I'm going to just do what I feel like doing. I have my YouTube channel and I put a bunch of stuff on it, but today I thought I want to do an instructing video. So hi, if you don't know me, my name is Jilly and I love to paint and draw, and I'll give you a quick little background. Years ago, it was probably, 2015, 16-ish, and my life was changing a little bit. You'll have to forgive me, my dog and cat are in the background. This is real life and it's raining and different things are going on here. So I'm just turning the camera on and I'm making the YouTube. So years ago, my mentor said to me at one point, I think maybe I want to make a suggestion. And I was like, okay. And they said, why don't you try drawing every day? And at that point, it just seemed so overwhelming. And I had taken many drawing and painting classes, so it wasn't something that I wasn't familiar with. I just hadn't really been sitting down and doing too much art. And I think they wanted me to focus. So I thought about it for a few days, and then I met up with them again and I said, yes, I think I want to try it. And they gave me a bag of art supplies, which I still have some of them to this day. So that was a good 10 years ago. So I thought to myself, I want to show how I started doing it, because to me it seemed really overwhelming drawing every day. How am I going to sit down and actually do something where I feel really good about having a finished product on something, like on a canvas or something like that. So I'm just going to show you how I started. And I thought it was really cool because I've taken so many art classes that have talked about different suggestions how to paint. And sometimes it can just be so complicated. I've talked to a lot of people who have said to me, I have the paint, I have the brushes, I have the canvases, I have everything. I just don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. So what I like to do is have it be fun and not have it be so complicated. So as long as you have some paper, this is actually kind of nice watercolor paper, and I try to use both sides of my paper. I try not to waste anything, but this is one of my sketches I did the other night, and this is one of my, I call it my 5-minute paintings that I do. So I'm going to show you how I started doing this. So what I did was I picked a topic of what I wanted to draw and paint every day. So I have not pre-rehearsed this, how I want to do this at all. I thought about it a little bit this morning and last night when I watched the YouTube, but I think right now I'm going to wing it. So outside, right now in my backyard, let me see if I can turn this camera. There are some dogwoods that have bloomed, okay? And I'm going to do maybe an angel with some dogwood. So I always say nature is my muse. So I'm going to look at the dogwood tree. So the tree is, let me see, the tree is coming up from the ground. I'm just going to draw this. I'm taking a ballpoint pen, coming up. I'm looking at the tree, going through the camera kind of as I'm doing this. And the dogwood tree trunk isn't really that thick. It's kind of a thinner branched tree, I find, and it's actually quite beautiful. It kind of moves around and has some really beautiful curves. And I've drawn a lot of trees and practiced and messed up and loved it and not liked it. So I think I'm going to just keep that for now. That's my little dogwood tree. And then I'm going to just kind of hone in on one of the dogwood flowers. So the dogwood has 4 petals, 2, 3, almost like a 4-leaf clover in a way. And it has a nice fluffy center. It's kind of yellowy green. And it looks like there are some nice leaves on there. So I'll do a couple of leaves. Nothing too dramatic. And I don't want to like overcrowd the painting too much because this is supposed to be quick and kind of fun. You're not going to be hanging this one in a museum. It's just for you, just to have a good time. Take off the pressure. So there we go with the dogwood. So what I'll do is see how there's some light coming in from over here. So maybe what I'll do is I'm trying to think, just kind of drawing by intuition. So I like to use a pen. A lot of people use a little bit of paint on a brush, or they will use a pencil or a charcoal. I like to use a pen. I find that it kind of gives me like nice definite lines, and then if I can paint over it, it's almost kind of paint by numbers. So maybe my little angel, this will be kind of like her crown of her dogwoods. She's thinking about what she'd like to have happen today. Positive affirmations. And lots of times when I do this, I just kind of free flow and have a good time. And her neck there. Nothing too dramatic for the face. This is supposed to be quick. Like I said, it's supposed to just be fun. Do like maybe like a little dress. Supposed to be an angel. And then we'll do some angel wings coming up. 1, 2, 3. Whoop! Nothing too, like I said, it's just supposed to be a good time. If you maybe want to do a little bit more dramatic, if you want to do maybe some almost like feathers coming up. Do a little bit more. But one of the things I was thinking about this morning too, when I was putting this video together, is sometimes it is nice to have like a little reference point if you want to draw or paint something. My dog is trying to jump on my lap, but I don't want him to right now. See if I'm quiet, if he just kind of moseys along. Okay, so we're just kind of free flowing this. There's his little toy. Angel here, little jacket on, little dress, make the neck a little thinner. But that's the thing about having a good time with something too, is you can animate it, right? You can make the neck a little bit longer if you want. You can just kind of give the idea of this is an angel underneath the dogwood tree, right? And you can just kind of let yourself swoop that hair up, maybe give it some direction towards that dogwood, and just have a good time with it. Nothing too crazy. Now, if you want to maybe do one detailed feather, and feel free to use this if you want and have some fun with it. I'll sign it so it's mine. I've read a lot about art copyrights. Once you sign it, it's yours. So let's pick out some pretty colors, because I think with the dogwood tree, the colors are very subtle. And so what I like to do lots of times when I pick out, this is acrylic, and I do have some Arteza metallic acrylics that I love too. So maybe let's just go in right with a bright color. So I'm putting the paint right on the brush, and a little dogwood has just a touch of yellow in the center of the flower. So maybe just a touch. And sometimes what I'll do too is I'll put the paint on the bottom of the paper to create kind of like a color palette if I want. And I'll kind of do that. And I don't know if I'll do that today, and I'm not even really using a lot of water or anything. So maybe I'll just use the additional yellow paint just to give give this a little bit of color and kind of zhuzh it up. Nothing too wild. I do have a little bit of water left over here. It's got a hue of green. I had made some ink out of oak tree leaves and stuff. So look, it's already kind of coming to life. Look how quick that is. So let's do a little tiny bit of brown, because the dogwood tree trunk looks like it has a bit of brown to it. So I'll show you. See the brown? So, excuse me, this isn't supposed to be really a finished product, like I said, but just kind of having fun. Let yourself have a good time. So this is an Arteza brown. Moving up. And one of the things too, when I used to take a lot of art classes, was the list to go buy all your products. You know, you had to buy specific products, and I think that's wonderful. And I think serious art classes need serious products. But like today, I'm using watercolor paper with acrylic paint because I'm doing it for fun. I've also used brown paper bags. I had a teacher that would utilize, she upcycled, and this was, gosh, probably in the 90s, and she would bring in paper shopping bags and she would rip them all up, and we would paint on those because she was very conservative, and I thought that that was really great. So if you're experimenting and you just want to try and you have some paper bags, try that if that makes you feel a little bit better. Get the pressure off, right? So here we go. Use some of my dirty water that I had from cleaning my brushes. My mentor taught me that too. Sometimes it's nice to have a little, I just use a jar that has a lid on it that has some of my paint water in it, and then that just kind of loosens it up. I used to really not use acrylics a lot, and then I started using them, and now I've kind of fallen in love with the acrylic paint, and also the quickness of it. You can paint really fast and it dries really fast. So here's our little angel. She's kind of coming along, and maybe I'll outline the angel dress and some of the wings, give a little definition to those wings. And one thing that I really love to use when I'm painting is a nice pop of color, which I think can be really fun, especially in a little painting like this. Just moving forward, and this is a bright pink. And I'm telling you, just a dab. I'm going into the lid part of it, okay? So let's see, let's put a little pink in the wings just for fun. Just dab some pink in there. And look at that pop of color, how it makes just a little bit of a difference. You just let yourself have a good time. And think of those angel wings kind of coming off the back of that angel. And yes, we do need a little bit more paint because that's not really cutting it. So I hate to waste paint. I took an art class once where the art teacher had us glob out so much paint on a palette and then cover up the palette and save it and use it again. But I always felt like I was just using too much paint. So I'm just kind of going up in the middle, going down. But see how that just even is fun? It gives you a little bit of pop of a color, of some pink. And the dogwood sometimes has a little hue of like maroony pink. It even has it like on the edges of the petals. I really, really, really studied the dogwood petals. I've painted them a lot. Maybe we'll give the angel a little bit of pink around the mouth. Nothing too severe. And you just kind of let yourself have a good time. Don't think too much. Just let yourself have a good time. You know, no, the face isn't perfect. No, that probably wasn't a good idea for me to do that, but that's okay. It's my angel. It's my painting. I'm doing what I want. Just like with this one, when I started doing it the other day, and I did a face, and then I did a sunflower around it, and I really glopped the paint on there. That was just really a good time. Just to sit down and do something. But look at this. This is 15 minutes going in now. And we're starting to create a little painting. So one of my things also that I love are my metallic paints. And this is a metallic gold paint. I'm not sponsored by any of the companies, but I always say I'd love to be. And let's see, this one is Folk Art Metallic. Love it. So I have a little paint in the cap here. I'm probably breaking all the rules. And this is a nice fine brush. I always have a lot of clean brushes on hand. And then so the crown. Okay, so we're going in with the gold. I've gotten much better at looking through the lens too of my phone while I'm videoing. When I first started doing this, it was so weird to look through my telephone and film. So we're just doing the crown. And with the gold metallic paint, I find that when it dries, that's when it becomes shiny. When you first use it, it almost looks kind of like a matte green hue in a way. But when it dries, it really looks good. So a little bit of gold metallic paint can really go a long way and create something kind of beautiful. So I'm just doing like a quick crown here. And I didn't want to do anything overly, sometimes when I have the paint in the cap too, I'll kind of put it back in the bottle with the brush because I don't want the lid to get stuck around the cap. So I'm kind of careful to clean that cap out a little bit before I put that back on the bottle. So I'm not using a palette today, but look how that's kind of creating a nice little painting. And sometimes if I look at something, I'll just go back in with a little bit of extra gold that's left on the brush, and I'll kind of zhuzh it into the painting. It's your painting, it's fun. Hear my cat eating in the background. That's one of the reasons I don't do as many YouTubes, because I'm like, what if they hear my dog? What if they hear my cat? What if the video's not perfect? And I thought today, this is what people are doing. I'm watching people, they're stopping videos and answering the door. They're you know, having the camera on themselves when they're, you know, not, you know, picture perfect. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to just turn the camera on and I'm going to do it and I'm going to have a good time. And so this is just like a quick little painting. And sometimes, you know, it's nice. I have this really nice foldable easel that I got to just let it dry and then maybe go back like later or the next day if you have to go off and do something, and you can have it on this pad of paper. If you don't want anyone to see it, it's dry. You can put it away so that it's just yours to see. And then what I'm kind of doing is I'm building up like almost like a topic through all of this. I'm building up my little painting. And I bought this at the dollar store. It's really nice for holding brushes. So when I'm out and I'm looking around, I think it was 50 cents. So I just kind of put the brush in it facing up so I'm not getting paint on anything. And then I'll just kind of store it next to me so I'm not laying a brush like on the table. So it's really nice. I can throw a bunch of brushes in it and then clean them later in something else, keep that kind of clean. But see, we're starting to create a story. It's kind of like the angel has the dogwood flowers over it, and it's kind of in, you know, out in the country. And I think it is nice to add a touch of green to especially an outdoor painting. And the backyard really has a lot of greenery today. It's raining, it's spring where I live, and I'm just going to take a little bit of green, just a pad, not a lot, just a pad. And this is just a beautiful, bright, it's called leaf green acrylic. I love these tubes too. And so we'll just think about like maybe in the background of where she is, or he, or it, or they, or, okay. I like my angels to kind of be whatever our imagination takes them. They don't have to be anything. They can just be a beautiful angel. And we will kind of get that greenery going around our angel here. Okay. Just having some fun with it. Having a good time. If you want to create more of like a landscape type thing, add a little bit to the back of the landscape. Sometimes too, if you have a little bit of paint on the brush and you want to go in and add a little bit of color in the background, you can do that too. Like if you just want to do some different swipes of color just to give it a little bit more dimension. And I mean, I can sit and paint for hours, and I have a little bit of a packed schedule today, so I can't really sit here and do that, but you're getting the gist of what I'm doing. You're creating a little kind of like fantasy painting, having a good time, using the paints that you have. I mean, gosh, if you go to one of the Dollar Generals, I think, or one of the Family Dollar, different craft stores and stuff, Amazon, there's so many different ways to buy paint now, and just buying a few different colors and putting together a painting, you can do that. You know, get some pinks, some greens, and maybe some browns, thinking of like the tones of outside. Yellow is always really nice too, because it can add a tiny little pop of color to any little, oh, the bird says yes, a little bit of color to the background. So let's just go in, we'll highlight our angel here with some yellow. It's a really interesting bird out there. I don't know exactly what kind of bird it is, but so see just a highlight of yellow around. Almost looks like a butterfly. So that's the thing too, is you can change it as you're going if you want to maybe start forming that into a butterfly wing. Angel can be anything you want it to be. Kind of muddy that up and give that a little bit of a yellow zhuzh. So I don't know if I'll get any feedback from this. I don't have that many YouTube subscribers, but maybe people will like this and they'll try it. You know, like I said, I wanted to show this painting that I did the other day. And I have had some of them framed that I've done for myself, and I love them. I've given them as gifts. And then this one I did with the girl sitting with the rabbit. Maybe I'll do this one tomorrow and I'll add some color to it and paint it and show how you can change just a penned little sketch into kind of a fun drawing and get that done and just have a good time. Just have a good time. And don't forget to sign your work. I think it's very important. Put your little signature on there and let the world know that it's yours. And sometimes too, like if you're doing a tree, if one is painting a tree, and you want that tree to have a base, I think it's really good not to have like a free-flowing kind of branch to go down to the bottom of the paper, and have that tree have some groundedness to it. Because as I was looking at it, I think the human eye likes to know that it's a tree and that it's coming from the ground. So I think that when I'm looking at it, just to give myself some kind of peace of mind about that, I'm like, okay, that's my tree coming up. Usually thicker at the bottom. Every tree is different. And we go up, down, and we've got our little dogwoods there. But just the beginning of an angel, just having fun. That's why it's good to have supplies on hand if you can, and have some clean brushes so you can always kind of do something if inspiration hits, and let yourself have a good time. So if you try it, let me know. I can even simplify this even more if you want, but this is just me having a good time, showing you what I'm doing, how I'm doing this, and letting myself just paint. It's as simple as that. It's really kind of uncomplicated. That's what I was thinking this morning when I was thinking of putting together a YouTube with painting, and I was trying to think about how I would put it together and what I would say and the words that I would say and how I would say it. And I thought to myself, take the pressure off and just show the simple, fun part of painting. And I'll see you again. Love, love, Jilly.